You don't expect to be humiliated at your own son's graduation. You don't expect to be told you're not welcome while you're wearing the uniform of the country you've served. Yet that's exactly what happened to Marcus Thompson, a decorated black Marine who came only to clap for his boy. To see him walk across the stage, two guards walked up, in front of hundreds of people. They told him to leave, and then, before the crowd could even make sense of what was happening, 6 Navy SEALs stepped out of the back row and did something that would silence the room. Let's rewind to the start of that day. It's a June morning in suburban Virginia, the kind of morning that feels heavy with humidity, like the air itself is holding its breath. Westside High School's gymnasium has been transformed into a graduation hall. Rows of metal folding chairs stretching from one basketball hoop to the other. A stage with a crimson curtain and a banner reading, "Congratulations, Class of 2024, hanging above. The smell in the air is a mix of hairspray, perfume, gym floor wax, and warm coffee brought in paper cups. Parents shift nervously in their seats, straightening ties, holding balloons, gripping bouquets. Grandparents clutch canes. Teenagers, dressed in royal blue gowns and square caps, fidget and whisper to one another in the bleachers. A student band warms up on the far side of the stage, brass instruments glinting under fluorescent lights. And right there, halfway up the bleachers, sits Marcus Thompson, tall, broad-shouldered, with a close-cropped haircut and skin the color of polished mahogany. He cuts a striking figure in his Marine Corps dress blues. The uniform is immaculate, dark navy coat trimmed in red, rows of ribbons above his heart, gold buttons shining. His black shoes reflect the overhead lights like glass. You can see other parents glance at him with a mix of admiration and curiosity. Some nod, some whisper. Beside him sits his ex-wife, Tanya, who squeezes a tissue between her fingers, her eyes already wet with pride. On Marcus's other side sits his younger daughter, Kayla, swinging her feet, holding a small phone ready to record her big brother's walk across the stage. Marcus's son, Deshaun, is somewhere in that sea of blue gowns at the far end of the gym, waiting for his name to be called. Marcus can't see him from here, but he knows Deshaun is scanning the crowd, looking for his father's face. The uniform, the anchor in the storm of this big day. Marcus shifts, feeling the stiffness of the dress blues. It's been years since he wore them in public. He hadn't planned to. When Deshaun asked him to come to the graduation in uniform, Marcus hesitated. "Dad, it would mean the world," Deshaun had said. "You've missed some games, some awards. This time, I want them to see you. I want them to see who my dad is." So Marcus polished the buttons, pressed the pants, and drove here this morning, early, before the sun had burned off the mist. He parked far from the building so he could walk in quietly, not make a scene. And at first, it seemed to be working. No one stopped him at the door. No one said a word about the uniform. He even shook hands with one of the administrators who recognized him from a Veterans Day event last year. Now the band strikes up "Pomp and Circumstance." The first students file out from the side door. Applause begins to ripple like a wave. The gym fills with cheers, whistles, camera flashes. Marcus sits straighter. He cranes his neck. He's searching for Deshaun. A woman behind him leans forward, whispering, "Thank you for your service." Marcus nods politely. "Thank you." He catches a glimpse of Deshaun as he enters from stage right. Cap slightly askew, smile nervous but bright. Marcus's chest swells. The principal begins to read names. Each student crosses the stage, shakes a hand, poses for a photo. Families shout, clap, call out nicknames. Then, Deshaun Thompson. Marcus rises to his feet. Tanya gasps. Kayla squeals. That's him. Marcus cups his hands and shouts, "That's my boy." His voice carries. People turn and smile. Deshaun hears it. He glances up, finds his father in the stands. His smile softens into something proud, steady. And that's when Marcus notices movement from the corner of his eye. 2 school security guards, one big and white with a close buzz cut, the other shorter and brown-skinned, both in dark green polo shirts with security stitched in yellow on the chest, are making their way toward him. They're not smiling. Marcus keeps clapping for his son, but his stomach tightens. The taller guard stops at his row. "Sir," he says low but firm, "we're going to need you to come with us." Marcus blinks. "Excuse me? Please step out of the seating area." Marcus glances at Tanya, then at Kayla. He lowers his hands. "Is there a problem?" "Sir," the guard says again, "you're in violation of policy. We've had complaints." "Complaints?" Marcus repeats. "I'm sitting here watching my son graduate." The shorter guard speaks up, looking uncomfortable. "No uniforms allowed, sir. That's what we were told. We're just doing our job." Marcus frowns. "This is a Marine Corps dress uniform. My son invited me to wear it." "Sir," the taller one says, "we don't make the rules. Please come with us." The applause around them is still going, but quieter now. People nearby have stopped clapping. A few phones lift, recording. Tanya whispers, "Marcus." Marcus's pulse hammers. He stands slowly, towering over the guards. His voice drops into that calm, dangerous register Marines use when every instinct is telling them to hold the line. "I'm here for my son. That's all." The taller guard shifts his stance. "You can explain it outside." Down on the floor, Deshaun is frozen mid-step, diploma in his hand, staring up at his father. His smile is gone. Marcus feels a hot wave of humiliation. He can taste metal in his mouth. He swallows hard. He glances at Kayla, at Tanya. "Stay here," he murmurs. The guards gesture toward the aisle. Marcus doesn't move. He squares his shoulders. His medals catch the light. "Sir," the guard says again, "we can do this the easy way or the hard way." And that's when a sound cuts through the gym, sharp, measured footsteps echoing off the polished wood floor. From the back of the auditorium, 6 figures are moving forward, not in uniform, but unmistakably military. The way they hold themselves, the alert eyes, the purposeful stride. 3 men, 3 women, all fit, all focused. The crowd senses it too. Murmurs ripple. Someone whispers, "Who are they?" Marcus glances over his shoulder. His heart jumps. He knows those faces. They're Navy SEALs. They're here, and they're walking straight toward him. The taller guard notices and stiffens. "What's this about?" he mutters. The 6 SEALs don't answer. They keep moving, silent as a tide. The air in the gym shifts. People lean forward. Even the principal on stage hesitates mid-sentence. Marcus's pulse spikes. He feels the sweat bead at the back of his neck. The guards glance at each other, uncertain now. The SEALs stop just a few feet away. One of them, a tall black woman with a buzzed haircut, locks eyes with Marcus, then turns to face the guards. The entire gym falls into a strange, electric hush. You can hear the squeak of a sneaker somewhere, a phone clicking a picture. In that instant, the power in the room feels different. Marcus is no longer alone, and whatever is about to happen next will decide not just whether he stays for his son's graduation, but how everyone in this room will remember this day for the rest of their lives. For a heartbeat, no one in the gym moves. It's like the air itself has thickened, like time is holding its breath. 6 strangers, no, 6 warriors, stand at the foot of the bleachers. Their presence is undeniable. Even out of uniform, their bearing is unmistakable. The squared shoulders, the controlled breathing, the way their eyes sweep the room without moving their heads. The tall black woman steps forward. She's wearing a plain navy dress shirt tucked into black slacks, but her stance radiates command. She's flanked by a wiry Latino man with sleeve tattoos, a stocky blonde with a scar across his chin, a lean Asian American woman with cropped hair, a dark-skinned man whose left forearm is marked with a trident tattoo, and a broad-shouldered white man with a beard and calm blue eyes. They don't look angry. They look deliberate. The taller guard clears his throat. "Ma'am, this is a private event. I'm going to have to ask you all to stop," the woman says quietly. Her voice is low, but it cuts through the noise like a blade through silk. "You're done asking." A collective gasp shivers through the bleachers. Marcus feels his jaw tighten. He recognizes her now. Chief Petty Officer Alicia Moore. She'd been on his deployment to Djibouti years ago, a liaison between Marine and Navy units. They'd crossed paths on joint exercises. She'd saved his squad from a bad ambush. They'd lost touch after the rotation ended. She looks at him now, and something like a flicker of solidarity passes between them. Quick, but unmistakable. "Marcus Thompson," she says. Still squared away. "I see, Chief," Marcus replies, his voice low. "Didn't expect to see you here." The taller guard frowns. "Sir, ma'am, who are you people?" The Latino SEAL steps up beside Alicia. "We're parents. We're veterans. We're here for this graduation like everybody else." He tilts his head toward Marcus. "And we're not going to watch you throw out a Marine dad on his kid's big day. This isn't your business." The taller guard snaps, but there's a tremor in his voice now. "We're following policy." Alicia folds her arms. "Show me the policy." "It's school security protocol," the guard says, eyes darting. "No military uniforms allowed inside. It can, trigger students." A murmur ripples through the bleachers. Several parents exchange shocked looks. A man in a suit mutters, "That's ridiculous." Someone else whispers, "Is that even legal?" Alicia's gaze doesn't waver. "You're telling me a Marine father can't sit quietly in the stands to watch his son graduate? That's your position?" The guard hesitates. "We had complaints." "What complaints?" Alicia presses. "Name them." Silence. Down on the gym floor, Deshaun still stands frozen in his cap and gown. Clutching his diploma, he's staring up at his father with wide, dark eyes. The principal hovers behind the podium, glancing between the guards and the SEALs, unsure whether to continue reading names. Marcus's heart pounds. He feels all the eyes on him. The parents, the kids, his ex-wife and daughter. He wants to fade into the background. But another part of him, the Marine part, knows you don't back down from a line you didn't draw. He clears his throat. "I'm here for my son," he says steadily. "That's all I've ever been here for." Alicia tilts her head. "And you're going to stay," she says simply. The taller guard straightens his spine, trying to regain authority. "Listen, I don't know who you think you are, but..." The bearded SEAL steps forward. His voice is calm, almost gentle. "We know exactly who we are, and we know exactly who he is." He gestures to Marcus. "Decorated Marine. Served this country longer than most of the people in this room have been alive. He's earned the right to watch his son graduate without being harassed." Another murmur from the bleachers. This one sounds more like applause trying to be born. The shorter guard shifts uncomfortably. "We're just doing our jobs," he mutters. "Then do it better," Alicia says flatly. The taller guard's face reddens. "Ma'am, I'm going to call the police." "Do it," says the SEAL with the trident tattoo. "Please," he smiles faintly. "We'd love to explain to them why you're throwing out a Marine for wearing his uniform." Someone in the bleachers actually chuckles. Another person claps once, sharply. The principal finally steps forward, adjusting his glasses. "Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's remain calm. This is a joyous occasion." Alicia turns to him. "Principal, this man has done nothing wrong. There's no policy against a Marine wearing his dress blues to his son's graduation." The principal hesitates. "It's an informal guideline." "Then drop it," Alicia says. "Now, the gym is no longer just a graduation ceremony. It's a tribunal." The tension is thick, but something else is rising too. Solidarity. Parents are whispering, filming, nodding. Students on the floor crane their necks to see. Tanya rises from her seat, voice trembling but loud enough to carry. He's Deshaun's father. He has every right to be here. This is his day too. Kayla stands next to her, phone raised, recording. Marcus feels his throat constrict. Alicia glances at him. "You want to stay Marine?" "Yes, Chief," Marcus says quietly. "Then sit down," she says. "We've got you." Marcus sits. Slowly, deliberately, the SEALs fan out, 3 on each side of the aisle, like an informal honor guard. They don't touch the guards. They don't raise their voices. They just stand there, presence like a wall. The taller guard looks at the principal, then at the parents with their phones, then back at the SEALs. His jaw works. He mutters something under his breath and backs away. The shorter guard exhales, shoulders sagging. "Fine. Stay," he says. But don't make a scene. Alicia smiles faintly. Too late for that. The guards retreat toward the back of the gym, muttering into their radios. The tension doesn't vanish, but it shifts like a storm cloud breaking, light piercing through. On the floor, Deshaun takes a tentative step forward. The principal clears his throat, straightens his papers, and says into the mic, "Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue our ceremony." But before he can call the next name, something happens. A woman in the bleachers stands. She's in her 40s, wearing a floral dress. "Thank you for your service," she calls out, her voice clear and strong. Someone else claps. Then another, and then the gym erupts in applause. Not polite, but thunderous. Marcus sits frozen, eyes stinging. He's been in combat zones. He's heard artillery. But this sound, the sound of strangers standing up for him and his son, hits deeper than anything else. Alicia steps closer and leans down. "We're not going anywhere," she murmurs. "Finish watching your boy." Marcus swallows hard, nodding. "Thank you, Chief. Always," she says. Down on the floor, Deshaun lifts his diploma high, a smile breaking across his face again. He mouths, "Love you, Dad." Marcus mouths back, "Love you too, son." The principal clears his throat again. "Congratulations, Deshaun Thompson." This time, when Deshaun walks off the stage, the applause is louder than it's been for anyone else. Not because he's top of the class, not because of his grades, but because everyone in this room has just witnessed something they'll never forget. A Marine father, a son, and 6 SEALs quietly drawing a line and refusing to let it be crossed. As the ceremony resumes, Marcus sits straighter. The humiliation has burned off, replaced by something steady and warm. Pride, solidarity, respect. But he knows this isn't over. Those guards will have to answer for what they tried to do. And by tonight, this story will be on every parent's phone in the county. Maybe beyond. For now, though, Marcus focuses on the moment. His boy just graduated. His daughter's hand is in his. His ex-wife is smiling at him through tears, and 6 quiet warriors stand nearby, blending back into the crowd, as if they were never there. The gym echoes with names, applause, camera flashes. But for Marcus, time slows. He thinks of all the deployments, all the nights he wondered if he'd live to see his son's future. He thinks of the sacrifices, the birthdays missed, the injuries endured, and he thinks, this is what it was for. His son, his family, this moment. Alicia glances at him once more before turning back toward the exit. Her expression says everything. "We've got your back. Always." And as the last student crosses the stage and the band swells with the graduation march, Marcus Thompson knows the story of this day is no longer about humiliation. It's about dignity reclaimed. And it's only just begun. The gym slowly empties, the echo of applause still hanging in the rafters. Folding chairs scrape against the polished wood floor as parents hurry to hug their kids. Balloons bobbing above the crowd. The air smells like a mix of perfume, sweat, and popcorn from the concession stand outside. Marcus stays seated for a moment, letting the tide of people flow around him. Deshaun stands at the edge of the stage, shaking hands with classmates, his face glowing with pride. Tanya has an arm around Kayla, both of them grinning through tears. But even as Marcus tries to savor the moment, his instincts tingle. Years in the Marines taught him to read a room, to sense when tension hasn't truly broken. The 2 guards linger near the double doors, speaking into radios, glancing at him with tight jaws. Alicia notices too. She moves closer, speaking softly without looking at him. "They're not done," she murmurs. "Bet you a month's pay someone's calling the district office." Marcus exhales through his nose. Figured as much. The bearded SEAL, whose name Marcus remembers now as Sam Redden, joins them. "We'll walk you out." No sense giving them another shot at intimidation. Marcus nods, grateful but uneasy. "Don't want to cause more of a scene." Sam shrugs. "Scene's already caused. Might as well walk tall." They wait until Deshaun spots Marcus and rushes over. "Dad," the boy's voice cracks, still caught between childhood and manhood. He throws his arms around Marcus's neck. "You stayed. Wouldn't miss it, son." Marcus hugs him back, the smell of new fabric and cologne clinging to the graduation gown. I'm proud of you. Deshawn's eyes glisten. You see me walk the stage? Every step. Behind them, Kayla films on her phone, Tanya wiping at her cheeks. The six seals fall into a loose semicircle as the family gathers their things. Their presence is casual, but unmistakable. Predators at rest, alert without appearing aggressive. As they move toward the exit, the murmurs start. Other parents pat Marcus on the back. A teacher whispers, "That was wrong, what they did." Someone else says, "We're posting the video." Marcus catches a glimpse of a teenager holding up his phone. The video thumbnail already shows the guards facing Alicia. Comments flash across the screen in real time. Marine dad kicked out? Shameful. Support our veterans. This is going to blow up, Marcus realizes. And quickly, they step into the sunlight outside the gym. The parking lot shimmers in the June heat. The smell of cut grass and asphalt heavy in the air. Seagulls cry overhead. One of the guards follows them out. The shorter one, his expression tight. "Sir," he calls, jogging up. "Sir, can I talk to you for a second?" Alicia steps between them before Marcus can respond. "He's with his family," she says. "Anything you have to say it in front of us." The guard hesitates, then exhales. "Look, man, I didn't want to do that. Orders came from up top. We've had issues before." Marcus raises an eyebrow. "Issues like what?" "Parents complaining. Someone got spooked last year. The district told us to crack down on uniforms. Police, military, whatever. Said it was about safety." The guard looks genuinely uneasy. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come at you like that." Marcus studies him. The guy's probably mid-30s, just trying to hold on to his job. Marcus doesn't hate him. He hates the system that told him to treat a Marine like a threat. "You want to make it right?" Marcus says quietly. The guard nods. "Yeah, then tell your bosses exactly what happened today. And tell them the next time they try to humiliate a vet in front of his kid, it won't stay quiet." The guard swallows hard. "I will." He glances at the seals, then back at Marcus. Again, "I'm sorry." He turns and walks back toward the building, shoulders hunched. Alicia watches him go. "One down," she mutters. "Plenty more to go." Tanya steps closer, voice low. "Marcus, this is going to be everywhere." Kayla already posted a clip. It's got like 10,000 views in 10 minutes. Marcus rubs a hand over his face. "Great." Deshawn looks between them. "Is that bad?" "Depends," Marcus says. "Could be good, could be messy." Sam Redden checks his phone. Already hitting local news feeds. He shows Marcus the screen. Marine father confronted at son's graduation. Video goes viral. Marcus stares at it. "Didn't want this kind of attention. Too late," Alicia says. "But maybe it's what's needed." They reach Marcus's car, a sun-faded Ford Explorer. Balloons squeak against each other as Tanya loads them into the back. Deshawn leans against the door, looking at his father. "You always told me to stand up for what's right," Deshawn says. "Guess you just did." Marcus chuckles softly. "Guess we both did." Alicia checks the perimeter with a casual glance. "We're gonna roll out." "But Marcus, this isn't just about today. This is about making sure no other vet, no other black parent, gets treated like you were. You up for that?" Marcus meets her eyes. "What are you thinking? Media's already on it. You tell your story. We back you up. Use the noise to force policy changes. Public apology. Training for guards. Real change." Marcus hesitates. He's always been a man of action, not speeches. But then he looks at Deshawn, at Kayla recording everything, at Tanya's tired but proud face. "Yeah," he says slowly. "I'm up for it." Sam claps him on the shoulder. "Good, we'll be in touch." The seals drift away one by one, blending into the crowd like shadows disappearing at dusk. Within moments, they're gone, leaving only the faint echo of their boots on asphalt. Marcus watches them go. He feels exposed, like someone just stripped off his armor, but he also feels a strange steadiness. Tanya closes the car door. "You sure about this?" she asks softly. "No," Marcus admits. "But it's bigger than me now." She studies him for a moment, then nods. Then let's do it right. They pile into the car. Deshaun sits in the back, scrolling through his phone. Dad, he says suddenly, you're trending. He shows Marcus the screen. A clip of Alicia standing up to the guards has already been retweeted by a local congressman with the caption, "This is unacceptable. Our veterans deserve better." Marcus exhales, gripping the steering wheel. Here we go. As they pull out of the parking lot, he glances back at the school one last time. The American flag flaps in the breeze above the gym. For the first time in a long time, Marcus feels like the fight he's about to face might actually matter. Not for medals, not for rank, but for dignity. And somewhere in the back of his mind, a Marine's voice, his own, says, "This is just the beginning." 2 days after the graduation, Marcus sits at his kitchen table staring at a cold mug of coffee. The old ceiling fan hums above him. He's been up since dawn, scrolling through notifications on his phone. The video hasn't just gone viral. It's exploded. Over 3 million views across platforms. Local news segments splice together Alicia's quiet confrontation with shots of Marcus sitting stoic in his dress blues. Headlines scream, "Marine father denied entry to son's graduation." Security confrontation sparks outrage. Veterans demand answers. His phone keeps buzzing. Reporters, advocacy groups, strangers thanking him, strangers attacking him. Tanya walks in holding a folded newspaper. "Front page," she says softly, sliding it across the table. Marcus looks down. There's his face, the photo of him with Deshaun in cap and gown. The headline reads, "Policy or Prejudice? School district under fire after incident with Marine dad." Kayla sits at the counter, scrolling on her phone. "They're saying the district's holding a press conference today," she says. 4 o'clock. Marcus rubs his temples. "Great, not great?" Tanya asks. "They'll try to spin it. Call it a misunderstanding. Maybe throw those guards under the bus. Anything to dodge accountability." Tanya leans on the table. "Then don't let them. Tell your side." Marcus exhales. "Not my style." Kayla looks up. "It's your story. Why let them tell it wrong?" He glances between them. They're right. But he still feels the weight of all those eyes on him. Combat never rattled him like this. His phone rings. Unknown number. He hesitates, then answers. "Marcus Thompson?" A crisp voice asks. "Yeah, this is Commander Alicia Moore. You got a minute?" He sits straighter. "Always. Listen," Alicia says. "We've been watching the coverage. This is bigger than a school district now. People are paying attention. Veterans groups, civil rights orgs, even a couple members of Congress. You're not alone." Marcus frowns. "Not sure what to do with that." "You do what you've always done," she says. "Led from the front." "I'm not a leader," Marcus says quietly. "You're a father who stood his ground with dignity. That's leadership, and people are looking to you now." He's silent. Alicia's voice softens. "You don't have to do it alone. We're putting together a statement. 6 of us are ready to stand with you at that press conference. If you want us there." Marcus swallows hard. "You do that." "We already did," she says simply. "Might as well finish the job." He feels something shift inside him, like a door opening. "All right," he says. "Let's do it." The press conference is held in a bland municipal building downtown. Rows of folding chairs fill a low-ceilinged room. The smell of stale coffee and copier toner lingers in the air. Bright TV lights glint off metal podiums. Marcus stands off to the side, heart hammering. He's in civilian clothes now, simple slacks, a button-down shirt, but his posture is still military. Tanya squeezes his hand. Deshaun and Kayla sit behind him, wide-eyed. Alicia appears with the other SEALs, all in plain clothes, but unmistakable. They move like a unit, quiet and deliberate, and take up position behind Marcus. The district superintendent steps up to the podium first, flanked by lawyers. She's polished, composed, her voice calm. "We regret the misunderstanding at the Central High graduation ceremony. Our security team acted according to guidelines designed to ensure safety for all attendees." Marcus feels his jaw tighten. "Guidelines," he mutters. The superintendent continues. We deeply respect our veterans and their service. We are reviewing our policies to ensure this does not happen again. Alicia leans close. When she's done, you go up. Tell your truth. Short, steady, clear. Marcus nods, palms sweating. Reporters pepper the superintendent with questions. Was this about race? Will the guards be disciplined? She dodges, repeats phrases like safety and protocol. Finally, she steps back. We're proud to announce Mr. Thompson has agreed to speak. Marcus walks to the podium. The room falls silent. The TV lights burn hot on his skin. He clears his throat, eyes scanning the crowd. Parents, reporters, cameras. My name's Marcus Thompson, he begins. His voice sounds steady, but his heart pounds. I served this country for 21 years. Iraq, Afghanistan, Africa. I came home to watch my son graduate. He pauses. Instead, I was told to leave because of my uniform, because somebody decided I was a threat. A ripple runs through the room. Cameras click. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't break any rules, but I wasn't going to let my boy walk that stage without me there. So I stayed. And some good people stood with me. He glances at Alicia and the SEALs. I didn't ask them to. They just did. Because they knew it was wrong. His voice grows firmer. This isn't about me alone. This is about respect. It's about making sure no other veteran, no other black father, gets treated like a suspect for wanting to see his kid succeed. He looks straight at the cameras. I'm asking this district to change its policies. I'm asking for real training for security staff. And I'm asking for a public apology, not just to me, but to every parent who's ever been made to feel they don't belong at their own child's milestone. For a moment, silence. Then a reporter calls out, Mr. Thompson, are you planning to sue? Marcus shakes his head. I'm planning to fix it. However, that has to happen. Alicia steps forward, her voice carrying. We stand with Mr. Thompson, and we'll be watching. The room erupts in questions, cameras flashing. The superintendent shifts uncomfortably, her smile stiff. Marcus steps back, heart hammering but strangely light. Tanya squeezes his hand. You did good, she whispers. Deshaun beams. That was awesome, Dad. Kayla shows him her phone. You're live. Like 100,000 people watching. He exhales slowly. Okay, but just as he's about to leave the podium, a man in a suit stands at the back of the room. His voice booms. Mr. Thompson. Marcus turns. The man steps forward, flipping open a leather wallet to reveal a badge. Office of the State Attorney General, he says. We're opening an investigation into this district's security practices. Gasps ripple through the room. The superintendent's face drains of color. This isn't just a policy issue. The man continues. It may be a civil rights violation. We'll be in touch. Marcus blinks. He hadn't expected that. Alicia smiles faintly. Told you bigger than you now. Reporters shout questions. Cameras zoom in. Marcus stands still, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. He didn't plan this. He didn't ask for it. But it's here, and for the first time since that day in the gym, he feels like maybe, just maybe, justice is moving. Later, outside the building, the late afternoon sun spills across the sidewalk. Marcus stands with his family and the SEALs. Reporters shout from a distance, but Alicia waves them off. You okay? She asks. Marcus lets out a shaky laugh. Define okay. You just turned a local scandal into a state investigation, she says. That's okay in my book. Tanya slips her arm through his. I'm proud of you, she says softly. Deshaun hugs him hard. Me too, Kayla grins. This is gonna change stuff, Dad. I can feel it. Marcus looks at them, his kids, his ex-wife, his allies. He feels the tremor in his hand settle. Then let's change it, he says. The SEALs nod. And somewhere deep down, Marcus realizes this fight isn't just about his family anymore. It's about every kid who deserves to see their parent in the crowd. Every parent who deserves dignity. It's a turning point. And there's no going back. The morning after the press conference, Marcus wakes before dawn again. For a moment, he thinks he's back on deployment. The stillness, the dim light, the thrum of adrenaline. But then the smell of Tanya's coffee drifts through the kitchen. It's real life. And real life suddenly feels like a battlefield. On his phone, headlines from around the country scroll by. Marine dad calls out school district. AG opens civil rights probe. Seals back black father at graduation dispute. Every notification is another reminder that his quiet fight for dignity is now a national story. He opens his messages. Dozens from strangers, veterans, single parents, teachers, even security guards. Thank you for standing up. We're with you. This happened to me too. He feels a pang of guilt. He never wanted to be a symbol, but the faces of his kids push the guilt aside. They deserve better than silence. Tanya comes in, handing him a mug. "You're on the Today Show," she says. Marcus blinks. "What? They ran your speech?" "All of it. Unedited. People are sharing it like crazy." He sits down heavily. "This is surreal." Deshaun shuffles in wearing a hoodie, earbuds dangling. "They're talking about you at school, Dad. Some kids are calling you a hero." Marcus laughs softly. "Hero's a stretch." Kayla grins. "You're trending #stand with Marcus." He shakes his head. "I'm trending great," but beneath the sarcasm, a current of determination builds. If this is the platform he's been handed, he's going to use it. That afternoon, Marcus drives to a nondescript office building downtown. Alicia and the other SEALs are waiting inside, gathered around a long conference table. Legal pads, laptops, and coffee cups cover it. Alicia nods to him. "We've got some folks you need to meet." A woman in a navy blazer stands. "I'm Dr. Valerie Shen, civil rights attorney, pro bono." She offers her hand. "You've already got the AG's office investigating, but we can go further. Policy change, training reform, real accountability." Next to her, a man with wire-rimmed glasses says, "I'm Anthony Reyes, Veterans Advocacy Network. We've organized marches, petitions, media campaigns. Whatever you want to do, we've got the infrastructure." Marcus looks around at the faces: lawyers, advocates, journalists, veterans. "I didn't expect this." Alicia smiles faintly. "You didn't ask for it either. But here it is. We are building a coalition." Valerie flips open a binder. The district's security policy is outdated and vague. It gives guards broad discretion without proper training. "That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. We can use that," Anthony adds. "And we've already got 15,000 signatures on a petition calling for an independent review of the district's security practices. By next week, it could be 50,000. Marcus leans back, stunned. "This is bigger than me." "Exactly," Alicia says. "You're the face of a systemic issue. We can help you carry it." He rubs his jaw. "What's the next move?" Valerie ticks items off on her fingers. 1. Keep control of your story. Don't let the district paint you as angry or unstable. 2. Demand a seat at the table for policy reforms. 3. Prepare for blowback, because it's coming. Marcus nods slowly. "Okay, let's do it." Back at the school, the district is indeed feeling the heat. Superintendent Harlan sits in her office, blinds drawn, scrolling through angry emails from parents and veterans. Board members call one after another, voices tense. "We're losing control of the narrative. Do something. Fix this before the next meeting." The 2 security guards involved have been placed on administrative leave pending review. Local news vans are parked outside the district headquarters. Protesters are already gathering with signs. "Respect OUR vets. In no more double standards." In the staff lounge, teachers whisper about how the district handled the incident. "It's like they never saw it coming," one says. "They underestimated him." In a corner, a custodian scrolls through the viral video on his phone. "Man stayed calm the whole time," he murmurs. "Didn't even raise his voice. And they called him a threat?" The tide is turning. A week later, Marcus attends a community town hall at the local library. The room is packed. Parents, veterans, students, even some district staff off duty. TV cameras line the back wall. Valerie stands at the front, presenting slides about the district's policies. "These guidelines haven't been updated since 2009, she says. "They lack clear standards on interactions with parents and guests." and they contain no anti-bias training requirements. The crowd murmurs. Anthony takes the mic next. We're calling on the district to adopt the Veterans and Families Respect policy. Clear ID protocols for parents, mandatory training for security, and a zero-tolerance clause for discrimination. Applause fills the room. Finally, Marcus steps forward. He's wearing a simple polo shirt, not his uniform. I didn't come here to be a symbol, he says. I came here to watch my son graduate, but I'm standing here because what happened to me happens to too many parents, especially Black parents, especially veterans of color, and we can stop it. Together, a woman in the front row stands. My brother's a Marine. He wasn't allowed into his daughter's school play last year because of his uniform. Thank you for speaking up. A man calls from the back. We've got your back, Marcus. The room erupts in cheers. For a moment, Marcus feels the exhaustion lift. This isn't just a fight, it's a movement. That night, back home, he sits at the kitchen table with Tanya and the kids. The house feels different now, charged but hopeful. Deshaun scrolls through his phone. They're saying the school board meeting next week is gonna be packed. Like hundreds of people. Kayla leans forward. You're gonna speak again, right? Marcus exhales. I guess I am. Tanya reaches across the table, touching his hand. You don't have to do this alone anymore. He squeezes her fingers. I know. His phone buzzes again. A text from Alicia. Board meeting confirmed. We're with you. 0800 brief at the office. He smiles faintly. This feels like a mission, he mutters. Tanya chuckles. Then plan like one. He nods. Yeah, plan like one. Meanwhile, inside district headquarters, Superintendent Harlan sits with her legal counsel. The AG's office has sent a formal notice of investigation. The board members are fracturing. Some want to settle. Others want to fight. What if he sues? One asks. What if he speaks at the board meeting? Another frets. Harlan presses her fingers to her temples. We're losing the narrative, she says. We need a gesture, something to calm the outrage. The lawyer says quietly, or we could actually change the policy. Harlan looks up sharply. We'd be admitting fault or leading reform. The lawyer replies, before the state forces us to. Silence. Outside the window, protesters' signs bob in the twilight. Back at home, Marcus stands on the porch under the stars, phone to his ear. Alicia's voice crackles through the line. You ready for next week? As ready as I can be, he says. Remember, stay calm. Facts, dignity, solutions. You're not just speaking for yourself anymore. You're speaking for all of them. I know. You've got this, Marcus. He hangs up and looks at the night sky. The same stars he stared at from faraway bases. The same quiet before a mission. Except this time, the mission is here. The stakes are his community. He takes a deep breath. Next week, the board meeting. Next week, the real showdown. And he intends to be ready. The morning of the school board meeting dawns cold and gray. Clouds hang low over the town, pressing down like the tension in Marcus's chest. He's up before the sun again, his uniform pressed, his boots polished. Tanya stands in the kitchen, packing a thermos of coffee like she used to before his deployments. You sure you want to wear the uniform? She asks softly. He nods. It's not about intimidation. It's about identity. They tried to shame me for this uniform. I'm going to show them it's nothing to be ashamed of. Outside, the street hums with activity. Cars lined up along the curb. People with signs walking toward the district building. Reporters adjusting tripods. He can hear the low murmur of the crowd even from his driveway. Alicia pulls up in a black SUV. She steps out in a dark suit, her navy pin glinting under the clouds. Behind her, the other SEALs, Marcus's old brothers in arms, pile out. They're in civilian clothes, but carry themselves like soldiers on mission. Each one gives Marcus a nod. Silent, steady solidarity. You ready? Alicia asks. Marcus exhales. Let's go. The district headquarters looks like a fortress this morning. Metal detectors at the doors. Uniformed officers posted outside. But the crowd gathered out front is bigger than anything the board has ever seen. Parents, veterans, students, even teachers holding handmade signs. Respect, oh, you are Marine dads. And oh, more double standards. Vets belong at graduation. Marcus and the SEALs push through the crowd. People parting to let them pass. Cameras flash. A reporter calls out, Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter, do you have a statement before the meeting? Marcus keeps walking but says evenly, we're here for solutions, not sound bites. Inside, the lobby smells of coffee and damp jackets. Security guards eye Marcus warily as he approaches the checkpoint. He hands over his ID calmly. They scan it, nod, and wave him through. This time, no one tells him to leave. The boardroom itself is already packed. Rows of folding chairs spill into the hallway. The press has carved out a space along the back wall. Microphones dangle over the podium. At the long dais, Superintendent Harland and the board members sit stiffly, papers stacked in front of them. Their faces are pale, their smiles forced. Marcus takes a seat in the front row with Alicia and the SEALs flanking him. Tanya and the kids sit just behind them. Deshaun squeezes his dad's shoulder. You got this, he whispers. Harlan taps her microphone. We're here to address the incident at last month's graduation ceremony and to hear community concerns. We ask for civility. A voice from the back shouts. Where was civility when you threw him out? The room erupts in murmurs. Harlan clears her throat. Mr. Carter, would you like to speak first? Marcus rises. The murmurs hush instantly. He walks to the podium, the weight of 100 eyes on him. He takes a breath, steadies his hands on the edges of the lectern. Good morning. My name is Marcus Carter. I'm a Marine. I'm a father, and I'm here because a month ago, at my son's graduation, I was asked to leave for no reason other than wearing this uniform. A ripple of anger moves through the audience. I stayed calm. Marcus continues. I showed my ID. I explained who I was. But I was still treated like a threat in front of my children, my wife, and my community. And I'm not the only one. Veterans of color, parents of color, we live this double standard every day. He lifts a folder and sets it on the podium. These are the signatures of 50,000 people who want your security policy changed. They're not just names. They're stories. He glances back at the crowd. This isn't about vengeance. It's about dignity, about making sure no other parent, no other veteran, goes through what I went through. Applause erupts. Some people stand. Harlan bangs her gavel, but the clapping swells louder. When it quiets, Marcus looks directly at the board members. We've drafted a proposal, clear ID protocols, anti-bias training, a veterans and families respect policy. You can lead this change or you can be forced into it. But it's happening. He steps back from the podium. The SEALs stand with him like a wall. Cameras flash. The board members exchange nervous glances. Harland leans into her mic. Mr. Carter, we appreciate your service and your feedback. The district has already placed the 2 security guards on leave and we're reviewing. Alicia rises from her seat. Reviewing isn't enough. She walks to the podium, her voice crisp but calm. I served as a Navy SEAL. I've led missions in war zones. And I've watched my brothers and sisters come home to be treated like criminals in their own country. We are here today because this district's policies are broken. And because Mr. Carter's dignity was violated in front of his son. She slides the document onto the dais. This is our policy proposal. It's backed by legal precedent and public support. If you don't adopt it, we'll take this fight to the state and to the courts. Gasps ripple through the room. Harlan's face tightens. Are you threatening us? No. Alicia says evenly. We're inviting you to lead. The crowd roars its approval. Lead or leave. Someone chants. Soon the whole room picks it up. Lead or leave. Lead or leave. Harlan bangs the gavel again. Order. Order. But the chant only grows. Finally, another board member, a middle-aged man with silver hair, leans toward his microphone. His voice is shaky but clear. Madam Superintendent, with respect, this has gone on long enough. I move that we adopt the Veterans and Families Respect policy effective immediately. A second board member says, I second the motion. Harlan stares at them stunned. We haven't even, but the crowd is already on its feet, cheering. The board lawyer whispers urgently in Harlan's ear. She looks at the sea of faces. Veterans, parents, cameras, reporters, and her shoulders sag. All in favor? The silver-haired man says. Hands go up around the dais. One by one. Unanimous. Harlan's gavel hits the block with a sharp crack. Motion carried. The room explodes. Cheers. Clapping. Some people crying. Deshaun jumps up, pumping his fist. Kayla hugs Tanya. The SEALs exchange glances of grim satisfaction. Marcus closes his eyes for a moment, the sound of the crowd washing over him. He feels like he's back on the parade ground after a hard fight. Except this time, it's his community standing tall beside him. Reporters surge forward, cameras rolling. Mr. Carter, how does it feel to win? Marcus raises his hands for quiet. This isn't my win, he says. It's our win. For every parent who's been disrespected. For every veteran who's been profiled. Today, dignity won. Tomorrow, we keep working. The cheers swell again. Alicia claps him on the back. Nicely done, Marine. He looks at her. Couldn't have done it without you. She shrugs. We've got each other's six. Outside, as the crowd spills into the parking lot chanting and singing, the gray clouds finally break. A shaft of sunlight pierces through, glinting off the flags people are waving. American flags, Marine flags, school banners. Marcus stands on the steps. Tanya and the kids beside him. Alicia and the SEALs behind him. For the first time in weeks, he feels something like peace. Deshaun looks up at him. You did it, Dad. Marcus shakes his head. We did it, son. Tanya squeezes his hand. This is just the beginning, she murmurs. Marcus nods. Yeah, just the beginning. The cameras click. The crowd chants. And somewhere inside the building, new policies are already being printed. The mission isn't over, but the battle is won. The board meeting had ended hours ago, but the sound of the crowd still seemed to echo in Marcus's ears as he sat at his kitchen table. The house was dim and quiet except for the soft hum of the refrigerator. Tanya moved around the kitchen barefoot, her movements slow, like they both were still coming down from an adrenaline high. Deshaun and Kayla were asleep upstairs, but Marcus knew neither of them had truly settled. They'd been buzzing on the car ride home, replaying every moment of the board meeting, scrolling through posts on social media, showing him memes of his speech. Marcus Carter, Dad of the Decade, one caption read. Another video already had 2 million views. Tanya set a mug of tea in front of him and sat opposite. For a moment, neither spoke. The silence felt thick and warm, not heavy. A silence earned. How do you feel? She asked finally. Marcus stared into the mug. Strange. Like I've been running for miles and just stopped. He looked up. Like we actually did something. You did more than something, Tanya said softly. You changed a policy. You made them listen. Marcus exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck. I keep thinking about all the people who messaged me. What happens to them now? Did I just open a door for them? Or did I just paint a target on my back? Tanya reached across the table and laid her hand over his. You did what you could. You showed them they're not alone. That matters. He squeezed her hand, the warmth grounding him. Across town, Superintendent Harlan sat alone in her dark office. The board members had gone home. The cameras had left, but the press releases and emails still piled up on her desk. She stared at the motion the board had passed, the words blurring together. It wasn't just about Marcus Carter anymore. It was about every story she'd ignored, every complaint she'd brushed off. She thought of her own father, a Vietnam vet, turned away from a diner in uniform. She'd never forgotten his silence on the drive home afterward. She leaned back in her chair. For the first time in weeks, she let herself breathe. Maybe, she thought, this was the right thing all along. Leading, not fighting. The next morning, Marcus woke to the sound of his phone buzzing nonstop. Headlines flashed across the screen. School board passes new respect policy after Marine Dad's viral speech. From graduation scandal to reform, how a community forced change. Even national outlets were picking it up. CNN, MSNBC, local radio hosts called him a Marine Dad turned advocate. The petition that had started with a few thousand names now had over 100,000. He scrolled through the comments on one article. Some were angry. He's just making trouble. But most were supportive. Veterans thanking him. Parents sharing their own stories. Students saying they'd learned something watching his video. Deshaun padded into the kitchen, hair sticking up. "You're famous," he mumbled, grabbing cereal. Marcus chuckled. "I don't know about famous." "You are," Kayla said, following him. "Our teacher played your speech in class." Everyone was clapping. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Really?" "Yeah. Even Mr. Stewart." She grinned. "He never claps for anything." Marcus smiled but felt a flicker of unease. Being a symbol was one thing. Being a father was another. He had to protect that. Later that day, he met Alicia at the small downtown office where they'd held their first strategy session. She was already there, scrolling through her phone. The other SEALs had flown back to their bases and homes, but they'd left him with a promise. "Call us if you need us." Alicia looked up. "How are you holding up?" Marcus sat, leaning back. Exhausted, relieved, nervous, all of it. "That's normal." She set her phone down. "But you did it. You turned a personal humiliation into a community victory. That's rare." Marcus rubbed his temples. "I'm just a dad who wanted to see his son graduate, and you're also a Marine who knows how to lead under fire," Alicia said gently. "This isn't the end of your story. It's just the first chapter." He tilted his head. "First chapter?" She shrugged. "There are other districts, other policies, other veterans. You've got a platform now. You could use it." Marcus gave a small, tired laugh. One mission at a time. That afternoon, Marcus received an email from Dr. Valerie Chen, the attorney. "Congratulations," it read. "Policy passed unanimously. Now we push for statewide adoption." Attached was a draft of a legislative proposal. He stared at the screen. Statewide. Bigger than he ever imagined. He looked up as Tanya came in from work. "They want me to help push for this across the state," he said. "I don't know if I'm ready for that." She hung up her coat. "You don't have to decide now. Just know you're not alone anymore." He nodded slowly. "That's the part I'm still getting used to." Meanwhile, in a small town 2 states away, a Navy veteran named Curtis watched Marcus's speech on his phone in a break room. He'd been barred from his niece's school dance last year for wearing his uniform. No one had listened then. But now, watching Marcus stand tall at that podium, Curtis felt a surge of hope. He opened the petition link and signed it. That evening, Marcus sat with Deshaun in the backyard. The sky streaked with pink and gold. The graduation cap still sat on the porch rail where Deshaun had left it after the ceremony weeks ago. "You embarrassed?" Marcus asked, nodding at the cap. Deshaun smirked. "Nah, I'm proud. Everyone at school's talking about you, about us." Marcus smiled faintly. "Good proud or bad proud?" "Good," Deshaun said. Then, more seriously, "When they told you to leave that day, I felt like it was my fault, like I brought you there, and you got in trouble because of me." Marcus's heart twisted. "Son, listen to me." He turned to face him. "None of this was your fault, not one bit. What they did was wrong, and you should never feel ashamed for who your father is." Deshaun looked down, then up again. "I don't. Not anymore." Marcus swallowed hard and put his arm around his son's shoulders. "I'm proud of you, more than you know." They sat in silence, watching the sun dip below the horizon. Across town, Superintendent Harlan drafted a public statement. She apologized formally to Marcus Carter and his family. She acknowledged the harm caused by the district's outdated policies. She promised training,